So in the days and weeks ahead, I, together with you, will do everything in my power to unite our Democratic Party, to unite our nation, and to win this election.
The stage is set, and the battle lines are drawn. In one corner, we have Vice President Kamala Harris, the sharp-witted former prosecutor ready to tackle every legal loophole, scandal, and shady deal. In the other corner, we have Donald Trump, a man whose public appearances often seem more like stand-up comedy routines. If stand-up involved more insults, conspiracy theories, and baffling self-contradictions. As Kamala Harris prepares to prosecute the case against Trump, she's not just running for president, she's running on the platform of accountability, fairness, and, well, a bit of good old justice. And let's face it, with Trump's history, that's going to be one heck of a case.
You know, as many of you know, before I was elected as vice president, before I was elected as United States Senator, I was the elected Attorney General, I've mentioned, of California, and before that I was a courtroom prosecutor. In those roles, I took on predators who abused women, fraudsters who ripped off consumers, cheaters who broke the rules for their own gain. So hear me when I say, I know Donald Trump's type.
In a recent speech to her campaign staff, Harris channeled her courtroom days with the energy of someone who's seen enough of Trump's shenanigans to fill several volumes of Law and Order episodes. She didn't mince words when laying out the stakes. Harris reminded everyone of her history as a prosecutor who took down sex offenders, fraudsters, and scammers. And, folks, she knows Trump's type. That's right, Donald Trump, with his record of dodging accountability, running a scam college, and being found liable for sexual abuse, is exactly the kind of defendant Harris has been waiting for her whole life. I know Donald Trump's type, Harris confidently told her team. Honestly, when she says that, you can almost imagine her in a courtroom, presenting Exhibit A, Trump University, Exhibit B, the Access Hollywood tape, and Exhibit C, a box full of lawsuits Trump's been dodging for years. Trump's response? Well, when Harris was laying out her case like a seasoned prosecutor ready to take down the kingpin, Trump was busy, talking about horse faces. Yes, you read that right. Trump's rallies have always been more spectacle than substance. Picture this, a former president running for the highest office in the land, and instead of addressing policy issues or, something presidential, he's taking the stage like a late-night comic trying out new material. Only in this case, the punchlines involve bizarre nicknames for
Marjorie's here, truth to vote, and they found at least 5 million instances on tape, and the courts didn't want to even look at it. The District Attorney of New York, under the auspices and direction of the Department of Injustice in Washington, D.C., was investigating me for something that is not a crime, not a misdemeanor, not an affair. I never liked horse racing.
This is the same guy, after all, who famously couldn't remember if he was running against Joe Biden or Bernie Sanders during the 2020 election. It's moments like these that remind us Trump's focus has never been on substance, but on spectacle. His ability to reduce complex issues into simplistic, often offensive sound bites that leave his supporters cheering and the rest of us shaking our heads in disbelief. Let's take a moment to revisit one of the most infamous Trump scandals, the locker room talk incident, where Trump was caught on tape bragging about sexually assaulting women. You'd think this would be the kind of thing a presidential candidate might want to sweep under the rug, or at least, show some contrition. But no, not Trump.
But I went onto that stage just a few days later, and a general who's a fantastic general actually said to me, "Sir, I've been on the battlefield. Men have gone down on my left and on my right. I stood on hills where soldiers were killed. But I believe the bravest thing I've ever seen was the night you went onto that stage with Hillary Clinton after what happened. And then that woman asked you the first question about it. And I said, locker room."
In another surreal rally moment, Donald Trump recounted a bizarre anecdote involving a military general. According to Trump, this general claimed that the bravest thing he had ever witnessed wasn't soldiers on the battlefield, but Trump's response to being questioned about the infamous Access Hollywood tape. Yes, you read that right. This general supposedly told Trump that his locker room talk explanation was more courageous than anything he'd seen in combat. If you're scratching your head right now, you're definitely not alone. It's hard to imagine anyone seriously suggesting that downplaying sexual assault could be more heroic than soldiers risking their lives in war zones. But in Trump's world, where reality is often distorted beyond recognition, this kind of logic somehow fits. It's the kind of tale that leaves everyone wondering how far Trump will go to paint himself as a hero, even in the most indefensible situations. While Trump is busy telling tales of his own bravery, incredibly self-serving and tone-deaf tales, mind you, Harris is getting down to business. In her speech, she made it clear that she is going to take the fight directly to Trump, and she's not holding back. Harris, a former sex crimes prosecutor, didn't shy away from highlighting Trump's despicable behavior. Let's not forget, Trump has been found liable for sexual abuse, and Harris isn't going to let that slide. Trump may have skated past accountability for most of his life, but Harris is laser-focused on making sure the American public knows exactly who Trump is. A man who ran a scam university, who's been involved in countless lawsuits, and who has a track record that reads like a rap sheet. She delivered her message with the precision of someone who has spent years prosecuting predators, fraudsters, and cheats. "I know Donald Trump's type," she reiterated, and it's hard not to feel the weight of those words. Trump may try to laugh off his past with locker room talk and rally insults, but Harris is the candidate who will hold him accountable, and she's got the resume to prove it. But wait, there's more. As if the locker room talk saga wasn't enough, Trump managed to dig himself an even deeper hole during a deposition, where he was asked about his infamous comments. His response? He stood by his statement, saying that it's largely true that stars can do anything they want, including grabbing women by the genitalia.
Well, historically, that's true with stars.
It's true with stars that they can grab women by the pussy?
Well, that's what it's, if you look over the last million years, I guess that's been largely true. Not always, but largely true. Unfortunately or fortunately.
Largely true? You can almost hear the collective gasp across the country. Trump's casual dismissal of his own lewd behavior is enough to make anyone's skin crawl, and yet here he is, defending it in court like it's no big deal. This is the man who wants to lead the country again, folks. And it doesn't stop there. Trump also bragged about owning beauty pageants, which, according to him, gave him the authority to inspect the women backstage while they were undressed, under the guise of making sure everything was okay. His words, not ours. The audacity is off the charts, but Trump, in his characteristic way, seems to think this is just another perk of being a star.
Well, you could also say, as the owner of the pageant, it's your obligation to do that.
So you have done that.
I'll tell you the funniest is that I'll go backstage before a show.
Yes.
And everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else. And, no men are anywhere. And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. I'm inspecting, I want to make sure.
While Trump rambles on about boxer shorts, beauty pageants, and stars' unchecked privileges, Kamala Harris has a clear, focused message for the future of America. Her speeches are centered on unity, fairness, and building a brighter future for all Americans. Harris isn't just attacking Trump, she's laying out a plan to tackle the challenges facing the country. She's talking about lifting people out of poverty, ensuring everyone has access to health care, and building a strong middle class.
Together we fight to build a nation where every person has affordable health care, where every worker is paid fairly, and where every senior can retire with dignity. All of this is to say, building up the middle class will be a defining goal of my presidency.
Kamala Harris envisions an America where every person has the opportunity to succeed, where no child has to grow up in poverty, and where workers are paid fairly for their labor. It's a vision built on inclusivity and equality, aiming to lift up every citizen, regardless of their background. Harris's message stands in sharp contrast to Trump's often meandering, self-obsessed rants, which focus more on personal grievances and divisive rhetoric. Harris offers a message of hope and progress, emphasizing the importance of unity and shared responsibility. Her platform is designed to equip every American with the tools they need to thrive, including affordable childcare, accessible healthcare, paid family leave, and the ability to retire with dignity. It's a comprehensive vision that seeks to build a brighter future for all, driven by policies that create opportunities for individuals and families and strengthen the middle class, ensuring no one is left behind. While Harris rallies the troops with energy and vision, Trump's rallies feel more like a deflated balloon struggling to regain its bounce. Gone are the days of electrifying MAGA rallies packed with enthusiastic supporters chanting "Lock her up." Now, Trump's crowds seem smaller, less animated, and frankly, a little tired. It's like they've heard this song and dance before, and the tune is starting to wear thin, compared to the vibrant energy at Harris's events, where every seat is filled and the crowds are buzzing with excitement. Trump's rallies seem like a party that people are slowly trickling out of. It's a stark contrast, and one that speaks volumes about the changing tide in American politics. As the 2024 election looms, the contrast between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump couldn't be clearer. On one side, we have Harris, a seasoned prosecutor ready to hold Trump accountable for his actions, running on a platform of unity, fairness, and progress. On the other, we have Trump, a man who spends his rallies insulting women, spreading misinformation, and defending sexual assault as locker room talk. Harris's campaign is filled with energy and purpose, focused on building a better future for all Americans. Trump's, by comparison, feels like a tired rerun of old scandals, bizarre fabrications, and crude jokes. The stakes are high, and if Harris has anything to say about it, Trump's days of dodging accountability may be numbered. So buckle up, America. The 2024 campaign is shaping up to be a wild ride, and Kamala Harris is ready to take the wheel. Let the prosecution begin.